Right now at 5, shots fired in Fort Lauderdale. 2 children hit, including a 6-year-old. We take you inside the investigation.
Ramping up the rollout in Florida, all adults and even some teenagers can now get their COVID shot. We'll break down the details.
It's being called one of the biggest environmental threats in Florida history. Tonight, the potential disaster near Tampa Bay.
Plus, the countdown is on to tonight's big championship game on CBS. A look ahead to Gonzaga versus Baylor.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Carly Barnett in for Lauren Pastrana.
And I'm Elliot Rodriguez. CBS 4 News at 5 starts right now.
This is CBS 4 News.
2 children, including a 6-year-old girl, are recovering after being shot outside a convenience store in Fort Lauderdale. The heartbreaking scene unfolded last night.
The other victim was a 16-year-old boy. Now police are frantically searching for the gunman. CBS 4's Brooke Schaefer joins us in Fort Lauderdale with the latest on this search.
Frantic surveillance video.
Turning now to the coronavirus pandemic, Miami-Dade Mayor Daniela Levine Cava with a big announcement today.
Effective next week, the mayor is lifting that midnight curfew. It's another step in a return to normalcy that many have been waiting for.
On the heels of a massive vaccine.
And we will.
Mayor Levine Cava says more than 800,000 Miami-Dade County residents have received at least 1 dose of the coronavirus vaccine. Meanwhile, over the weekend, the Biden administration set a new 1-day record for shots administered, surpassing the 4 million dose mark on Saturday for the first time. Standing next to a masked Easter bunny at the White House, President Joe Biden acknowledged those still struggling from the pandemic. The White House COVID response team says new cases have ticked up for the 4th straight week, fueled by young people spreading the more transmissible UK variant. A new CDC study shows that just 1 dose of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine is 80% effective at preventing infection. But administration health officials say they are not yet considering a one-shot strategy.
Although we always continue to keep an open mind, we consider the route that we're on now as the best route.
The CDC also released updated cleaning guidance saying the risk of infection from touching a surface is low and that cleaning once a day is usually enough to sufficiently remove the virus. The agency also says spraying disinfectants on outdoor spaces is not necessary. In a new sign that Americans are ready to move on from the pandemic, more people traveled by air over the weekend than at any point since the crisis began.
And now the latest concern for health officials is the loosening of restrictions across several states, fearing it could lead to another wave of infections. CBS 4's Errol Barnett is at Newark Liberty Airport in New Jersey.
Newark, New Jersey.
And here are the latest numbers. According to the Florida Department of Health, nearly 3,500 COVID cases were reported today. 36 additional deaths reported statewide. More than 1,200 of the cases were here in South Florida, with no additional deaths in Miami-Dade, Broward, or Monroe counties. Still ahead at 5, week 2 of the trial of ex-officer accused of killing George Floyd. It's all about treating people with dignity and respect, what the Minneapolis police chief said on the stand. Up next.
CBS News, New York.
Before testimony resumed today, the judge addressed a report of juror misconduct off camera surrounding a social media post. The judge determined no juror misconduct had occurred. You can look for much more on the Derek Chauvin murder trial tonight on the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell. That's at 6:30 after CBS 4 News at 6. Welcome back. Washington, D.C. is on edge tonight, days after another attack at the U.S. Capitol. A Capitol police officer was killed and another injured Friday after a man rammed his car into them at a security barricade. The attack raises new questions about balancing security on Capitol Hill with the need to keep the area open to visitors. CBS correspondent Jeff Pegues is outside the Capitol.
It is very surreal.
CBS News.
CBS correspondent Jeff Pegues reporting. Meanwhile, lawmakers on Capitol Hill said a prayer for Officer William Billy Evans at the opening of today's pro forma session in the House of Representatives. Right now at 5:30, Governor Ron DeSantis declares a state of emergency. A toxic wastewater pond near Tampa is in danger of breaching. That threat from an old phosphate mine has caused expanding evacuations.
State officials now working around the clock to avoid a potential environmental disaster for Tampa Bay. Reporter Casey Albritton from our sister station WTOG is in Palmetto with the latest.
Back behind this.
Now at 5:30, an investigation is underway after police say 4 people jumped the fence of a multi-million-dollar home in Miami Beach, attempting to steal 4 very pricey cars. It happened at a home off of Pine Tree Drive. A security guard spotted the thieves late Saturday night and fired his gun, hitting one of them. When police arrived, they found the wounded man barricaded inside one of those cars. After several hours, officers were able to take him into custody. He remains in the hospital in critical condition. The other 3 thieves fled the scene in a white Porsche and a green Lamborghini. If you have any information, you should call Miami-Dade Crime Stoppers at 305-471-TIPS.
Check out what's trending now. Prayers all around tonight for rapper DMX.
He remains on life support following a heart attack. This evening, family and friends and fans are holding a vigil for DMX outside of his hospital in New York. A family publicist says DMX, whose real name is Earl Simmons, needs everyone's thoughts, wishes, and prayers during this difficult time. His lawyer said he could not confirm reports that a drug overdose is what caused the heart attack.
What is this? Ah! I'm a cartoon?
What's up, Doc?
If ever a movie was going to be a slam dunk, it's this one. The new trailer just dropped for Space Jam: A New Legacy, starring LeBron James. The film comes 25 years after the original, starring Michael Jordan. Space Jam: A New Legacy is set to tip off in theaters on HBO Max July 16th.
I remember watching the original, too. New details about the Country Music Awards airing on CBS. Tonight, we are hearing more than 25 artists will perform more than 30 songs. And that's a lot of music. Keith Urban is returning this year as the host. And once again, the live performances will take place at 3 iconic country music venues. The 56th Academy of Country Music Awards airs April 18th on CBS.
Yeah, and the award shows are becoming more interesting in the age of COVID. More performances, right?
I agree, and I think it's nice, too, that you can actually see the artists watching the others work in sort of these more intimate venues.
Yeah, it's always a great show. There are always great videos and stories to see online. Check out more of what's trending.
Welcome back. As we've been telling you, the pandemic has led to a surge in pet adoptions.
But the surge in pets has a rather unique business booming. CBS 4's Chris Van Cleve explains.
We're waiting for you.
CBS News, Washington.
How cute is that?
So cute. Does Fred need a friend, Elliot?
Would you travel with Fred?
Sure.
Okay, there you go.
I'll be a travel companion.
He likes to travel. That's CBS 4 News at 5:30.
And here's what's next on CBS 4 News at 6. 2 big steps forward tied to the pandemic. The vaccine eligibility widens to all adults, and the mayor of Miami-Dade takes action regarding the county curfew.
See how several commercial fish houses in the Florida Keys were able to survive thanks to them pivoting in a pandemic.
And Fort Lauderdale police hope new surveillance video holds the key in a shooting that sent a teen and a 6-year-old to the hospital. CBS 4 News at 6 starts right now.
This is CBS 4 News at 6.
Now at 6, a big step forward in what many say is a sign of return to normalcy more than a year into this pandemic. The Miami-Dade County midnight curfew is going away. Good evening, I'm Elliot Rodriguez.
And I'm Carly Barnett in for Lauren Pastrana. Mayor Daniela Levine Cava says the curfew will be lifted a week from today on April 12th.
On the heels of
We can and we will.
Mayor Levine Cava says more than 800,000 Miami-Dade County residents have received at least 1 dose of the coronavirus vaccine. New at 6, the city of Hialeah is working around the clock to distribute vaccines. Hialeah Mayor Carlos Hernandez stopped by the vaccine distribution site at Bucky Dent Park today. That's along the 2200 block of West 60th Street, encouraging residents to get their dose.
If you have not had it yet, please take advantage of this. We're hoping to get more and more vaccines. We're hoping to get a 3rd location in the next couple of days, but it is important to come.
400 doses will be distributed daily at the site, and that's at a first-come, first-served basis. For the latest on where to get vaccinated, including who is eligible and how to book an appointment, you can log on to cbsmiami.com/vaccine. And a reminder, you can also stay in touch with us 24/7 on our new CBS Miami app. That app is free, and you can find it in your app store. Search for CBS Miami. Now at 6, Fort Lauderdale police are investigating a shooting that sent 3 people to the hospital, including a 6-year-old girl and a 16-year-old boy. This happened last night outside of a convenience store. CBS 4's Brooke Schaefer has the new surveillance video that police hope will lead them to those responsible. Now at 6, it's official. The city of Miami has a new police chief. This morning, Art Acevedo became the 42nd chief of police for the Magic City. Cuban-born, Acevedo was police chief in Houston. Here is some of his message for the officers and the community.
I'm not going to be the Cuban chief. I'm not going to be the Latino chief. I'm not going to be the chief from California or Texas. I'm going to be the chief from Miami because we are going to represent and serve all people.
We have a traffic alert for you now. An accident involving a car and a train has sent 2 adults to the hospital, and it's causing traffic trouble in Hialeah. 2 children also in that car were not hurt. The accident happened at Northwest 36th Street and 38th Avenue. That's not far from Miami International Airport, so you should avoid that area. If we get any more information, we will bring it to you on air. All new at 6, a lasting tribute today unveiled for the late Grammy Award-winning soul singer Betty Wright. A 5-block stretch of Northwest 14th Avenue in Liberty City was renamed Betty Wright Lane. The Liberty City native was recognized not only for her musical legacy, but also for her civic contributions. CBS 4 photojournalist Rafael Murciano was at today's ceremony.
Great lady, so well deserved.
Beautiful tribute.
Yes. Next in sports, a former Cane is now an Ole. What's Randy Shannon's new role at Florida State?
And tonight it's the final college basketball game of the season. So who will be crowned the champs? A preview of the big game here on CBS 4 right after the break.
Jazz blue hair. I don't know, Elliot, Carly, what do you think? I'm thinking purple, green for me.
As long as you can run like that, what difference does it make?
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
But
Who
I think it could be a good look for you, Jim.
All right. if you insist, I'll try it at home first.
Okay.
Send us a picture. We'll be right back.
And don't forget, if you've seen news or weather happening, take a picture or your hair, send it to us. Our email, cbs4pics@cbs.com. You may see those photos on TV or online.